Today we're going to be looking at the Beeline Moto 2, so let's talk about it. What is Beeline Moto? Well, it's a super compact, sleek, convenient little navigational tool that actually started off on Kickstarter and grew popular on there and made its way into the shops. Those shops being like Infinity, where we sold bucket loads. Now, why is it so popular? Like I said, it's super slim, sleek and compact, so you can chuck it into your jacket and forget about it. The screen's big enough so you can actually see where you're going, and the routes are far more fun, and we'll get into that when we unbox it. So let's do that. So if we go ahead and unbox it, we'll open it up like so. You'll be greeted by the Beeline Moto. Click it down like so to turn it on, and you'll be greeted by this. Now, as you see at the bottom there's a little bicycle that actually goes around the side, or a motorcycle, depending in which one you choose once we go to set it up. But without further ado, I wanted to just say that this is going to be 2 times brighter than the original Beeline Moto. The original one is still available, but only in the metal format. You won't get it in the plastic. Now, the original version will come in at around £150, whereas this, the plastic version, £179.99, and if you wanted the metal grey or silver, then that would come in at just under £200. But without further ado, let's go in and look at the features. The thing that you need to do first though is download the Beeline Moto app. So once you've downloaded the app, you can make your way and make yourself an account. So I'll do it from the very beginning so that you guys and girls can see what needs to be done. I'm going to type my email in, so I'll take this off screen. You can have a look at the Beeline Moto while I do that. Now, once that's done, it'll pop up with this little menu here. You have cycling or motorcycling. Now, the cycling is for those that like using Strava. You can actually use this as your navigational tool for that, which is kind of cool. But for today, we are obviously going for the motorcycling. So we'll choose that one, confirm journey type. And if you want to hear from them, you can say yes or no. But I've already set up 2 emails to this, so I'm going to put no thanks for now. And then we move on to the next page. When you're greeted at the opening page of the Beeline Moto app, you'll have 3 tabs at the bottom. So the first one's going to be ride, second one being journeys, and then third one being settings. So if we go into what the features are on this, if you press record, you can actually record your journey. So as soon as you press that button, it'll start timing and showing you where, how long the journey is and what have you, and how many miles. And if you go through the rocker top mode here, left and right, you can actually see the different features. So you've got miles per hour, so it'll track your speed, how long it takes, and it will obviously show you the battery percentage of the Beeline Moto and your phone. And on here you can actually change the brightness as well, which is nice. This is all backlit now as well. So there, we stop that there, end it, close that, and then it will save your journey. Obviously we didn't go anywhere, so there's nothing to do on that front. If we go back, we can do plan ride, which is the more fun part of this. Type in whatever location you want to go to. So for me, let's say you want to go to Rikers at Box Hill. Oh, press that, it'll tell you the different routes you can take. And if you can see here already, we've got a fast route and a fun route. Fast route obviously takes you there from A to B as quick as possible, but what's really nice about Beeline Moto is if you click the fun route, it'll take you down some lovely bendy B roads all the way up to Rikers. Now, if you had the original one and miss having the compass feature, you can do that too by pressing the button on the very right here, and it will turn into a compass. If you press go, you'll see it now has a compass system, which is really cool and quite fun to play around with, to be fair. You can have this just as a little backdrop if you're riding around with a POV shot with a GoPro, let's say. That's kind of cool. Where it's useful, that's down to you. For me, I'll probably go back to the original one with the new method of positioning in terms of the navigation. So that's a new update on here as well. So if we do this route again, plan ride, go back down here, put Rikers in again, press go on the fun route, you'll see it has a new display where it changes, so you can see a partial map now, turn by turn navigation. Really cool. So close that off, and that, yes, enjoy your ride. If you go back to the main menu, if you go into journeys, this will be the history of your journey. So if you click into one of these, you can actually rate the route. And what happens when you rate the route is, if you say, oh, you didn't like that route, it will tell the algorithm that it's not the best ride. So it will tell it won't suggest it to other riders who use Beeline Moto. If you really enjoyed it, it'll now then also feed into that algorithm and give fellow riders that same route if they're in the same sort of vicinity. Now, if you go back onto the ride and plan ride, for those that want to, you know, make their own rides or long journeys or want to map it out, you can do that on here too. Whether it be by clicking on this button down here with the 3 lines and the plus, you can actually add stops in your journey. If you wanted to say, if you're on the way to Rikers, you might want to pop down to Newlands, you can put Newlands Corner and have that as part of your route. Now, if you wanted to upload a GPX file, you can as well. So if you go into options, import GPX route, if you have one saved onto your phone, you click it, you'll start uploading it, and there you go. This is the first part of the NC500, something that I want to do in the future, and I actually got this off of Ride Magazine's website, so if you wanted to check that out, go into the link in the description and you'll find it there. Now, you can save this if you don't want to go today, because obviously I can't go that, I'm in the south of England. You can type the route name, so let's say the start of NC500. Oh, let's capitalize that, that's going to annoy me. NC500, save route, and now it's saved. So if you go back to your main menu, on that first tab again, you'll see in saved routes, they'll say start of NC500 as one of them. Really cool, neat feature. At the top right here, if you wanted to look at that, that's your heat map. So wherever you are, it'll show you your current vicinity or the places that you go to the most. Now, let's say you have some rides here, you didn't really like them, you can also slide it across, delete them off, and they're gone forever. If you go into the settings, this is the cool part as well, where you can change the type of route that you want to go through. So a lot of your features or what you want to change on your settings and what have you, you can do it through the settings tab. So route type, we'll keep it a motorcycle, and then if you want to change your default to fun, let's say you only go out for weekend blast anyway and don't want to faff around with pressing the next button or what have you, you can press fun and it'll just save it as fun every time you try and put a route in. It'll also do auto reroute, auto pause, distance units. Now, when I first started this up, it actually was in kilometers, but since we're in the UK, we'll change it to miles. But if you are abroad, because it has global mapping, you can change it to the rating or the speeds that they have over in Europe. Now, if you want the time format to change, you can do all of that and what have you. If you go down, you can change the name. It'll show you if it's connected or not even. They'll have Let's Ride there. The battery level, auto brightness, I disabled it purely because I want it as bright as possible. As you know, for the original one, it is relatively dim, and if you did have the backlit option on, it actually drained the battery a bit quicker. But you have auto brightness disabled, alert sounds obviously enabled, language preference, which is kind of cool, and a navigation screen speedo. If you turn that on, it will come up with the speed that you're going at, which is kind of cool. So those are the features on this app with Beeline Moto. And if you actually wanted to go through the Beeline Moto II itself, if you hit Rikers Box Hill again, you can actually scroll through the different menus on here as well. So it'll tell you the distance, how many miles per hour you're going to go, the time it takes, or the amount of miles, and then back to there again. So those are the little neat features that are inside this Beeline Moto. Let's now take it out for a road test and answer a few of your questions. Right, let's move away from the ruckus and answer some of the questions that you guys might have. We actually compiled it from the guys and gals at Infinity, so it's probably going to be the same questions you're going to have. Starting off with, is it actually visible while you're riding? The answer is yeah, it's really clear that it's super bright, so it's 2 times brighter than the original version. It's backlit, and you can also change the brightness on that too. Now, when it comes to the navigation, yeah, it's super clear and visible, and if you go the wrong way, it starts beeping at you. What's the battery life like? Well, on the original version, it was a much longer battery life compared to this one, but that's purely because it wasn't as bright. Now this has up to 14 hours of battery life while being at its highest brightness. So that's a long time, because if you're on your bike for more than, let's say, even 3 hours, you must have a bum made of steel. Is it waterproof? Yes, it's got an IP67 rating, so it's dustproof, waterproof. You can pretty much chuck whatever you want at this. Plus the fact that instead of having a £1,000 phone on your handlebars for a mount, this is a much cheaper option to have on there. Plus the fact if rain lands on your phone or lands on this even, it's not going to start glitching out and start playing music or call your ex-girlfriend. Is it easy to get on and off? Well, yes, literally a twist and lock system. To lock it in like that and done. Now, my personal opinions, is this worth it? Well, it's a far cry better than the original version, and something that is super convenient for us riders who don't want something super bulky on our handlebars or something expensive like our phones on our handlebars. Now, this comes in, like I said earlier, at just under £200 for the metal and £179.99 for the plastic. Now, don't let that put you off, because just because I said it's plastic doesn't mean it's not robust. It's actually going to be a little bit lighter than the metal as well. It's also really nice because it doesn't take away from the silhouette of like retro bikes. Like for example, my bike, it's a Bonneville, right? So it's a retro bike. Having this on there kind of just matches up with the dials that I have, and if I got the silver one, it would definitely match the bezels on my Speedo. Now, is this something that I would suggest to other riders? Well, yes, of course I will, because this is a little cool navigational tool that can kind of just be forgotten about when it's on your handlebars, and you can kind of just store it away when you need to. And it's not something that you're going to have to be worried about if you lose it, because this is going to be a lot less hurtful to the heart if you lose this compared to your phone. Now, the things that I don't like about it, or something that I wish they didn't do, is obviously that paywall. You have to subscribe to the Beeline Moto app to unlock all the features, so that being like the one that's important to me, the audio. Because when I'm riding, I always have audio going on, even if I can't see it. Like back in the day when I was riding around, I used to have earphones in. Not the best idea, but I had that in, plugging it to my phone on maps or what have you, in order to get to my destination, because one, I didn't want to get my phone wet, and two, we didn't have the handlebar mounts when I was riding before. And that's something that's kind of crucial when you have this. Now, the argument could be is if you're on a retro bike or you have a helmet without a comms unit, you don't really need it, because you'll just be looking at this anyway. So if you don't want a comm system, something bulky on your helmet, then I guess that's the argument against it. However, I just wish there wasn't a paywall, and as you might be the same as me, we have to subscribe to so many things. I don't want to be subscribing to another thing for £4 a month. But those are just my personal opinions, so let me know what you think down in the comments below. Would you get one for yourself? Let me know. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, ride safe, and we'll see you all soon.